Deborah said, I've been cooking more homemade method recipes and noticed that I'm not having pronounced blood sugar spikes for lunches and dinners. So yay, that's amazing when you're, you're following the recipes and you're seeing those changes, you're noticing those changes, you're checking your blood sugar and you're expecting, a little spike, and then it's not there and you're like, oh my gosh, this is working. This is amazing. So congratulations, Deborah. But Deborah said that she defrosted a ground beef stroganoff recipe. This was something that she had made. It wasn't a homemade method recipe for supper, and noticed that it took 3 to 4 hours for her blood sugar to return back to normal, to get back down there. She said it was ground beef, chopped onions, mushrooms, Greek yogurt. She said no fillers. It was served over farro. She said, I was really surprised since I consider this a healthy recipe, a family favorite. I'm finding that I don't know how to tweak family favorites. Would you give me some thought to exploring the subject? Is it the recipe itself or the whole meal composition? So this is a really great question, because how many times have we made a recipe? Maybe it's something we found online and we're like, oh, this is good, this is going to be healthy, and it just, maybe it wasn't. Maybe it was something we noticed those blood sugars. Maybe we noticed we were feeling kind of puffy afterwards, or maybe, we ate it and it gave us the same feeling as like a restaurant meal or a fast food meal might, where we're just overly full. It just wasn't something that really worked for us. So is it the recipe? Is it the combination of things? So this is where I want to talk a little bit about the ratios. So the ingredients that Deborah mentioned are all whole natural ingredients that you're going to see in a lot of our recipes. But what about the ratios? So as an example, I like to use this one when I make like a vegetable stir fry. Sometimes I'll do it where I have the rice already pre-made. So I'm just, doing a quick saute of the vegetables. When I make my plate, I'm an average 35-year-old female. I don't have get a ton of physical activity in. I'm not sedentary. I would say I'm just very average. When I make my bowl of rice and vegetables, I go ahead and I take about a cup of vegetables for every half a cup of rice. I tend to eat more than that total, but to show you that ratio. So a cup of vegetables to a half a cup of rice. My husband's a little bit older, much more active. He's an entertainer, so he's jumping around a lot, moving around a lot. And his ratio is a cup of rice to a half a cup of vegetables. And that's the ratio that works for him. So think about it. Both of those meals, great ingredients, sound healthy, sound delicious, but the ratios are different. If I were to eat a meal like his, I wouldn't feel as great. My blood sugars would go up more because there's going to be a little bit less fiber. That ratio just doesn't work for me. So looking at that recipe, Deborah, is there any way in that recipe you have an opportunity to add in any more vegetables? You've got the beef, you've got the protein, Greek yogurt, you've got some more protein and fat, you've got the farro, but if we can reduce the amount of whole grain by a little bit and add some more vegetables. You said you had onions and mushrooms. Is there room to add in maybe some chopped green peppers, serve it over a bed of greens, put maybe some tomatoes on top, serve it with some tomatoes. A lot of the times when we can tweak it so we're adding in more vegetables and reducing the whole grain a little bit, that ratio can help us. Doesn't mean to cut out the whole grain. We can reduce how filling it is then when we cut it out too much, but just to change up the ratio a little bit. And every recipe will elicit a different response in different people. Just like I said with my husband and I, we do different ratios for different things.